And ladies and gentlemen, we are live for the second time today because the first one had a little bit of an issue. It cut out. Anyway, we're back again. We're with Frank Kramer. We're talking bikes, we're talking life, and we're talking good times. And Galen's coming at us. I'm going to change that phrase. Galen is joining us live.
Wait, did you just call him Gaiman?
Gaiman. I've been screwing with wires for 5 minutes. Anyway, I'm gonna give it to you.
Is it that shirt?
It is.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's that shirt.
I love it. I love it.
This would be the undershirt before the dress shirt.
Oh, wow. Very nice. So you're going to be in a suit.
I'm going to be in a suit.
All right. All right.
So I'd like to maybe dedicate this stream to my sister-in-law, Amy Fisher Anderson, who recently passed away at the age of 48 years old with severe brain cancer. So we're in Utah. We're going to go visit the family tonight, funeral tomorrow. And then we're back late Friday night so we can get to the grand opening that's going to happen this Saturday, November 4th. Hopefully you guys can hear me well enough. And Frank called me out for my white shirt. Thank you, Frank.
Well, you're loud and clear now.
Yeah.
Looking good in your white shirt.
It does look good. It was the V-neck. That's why I thought he called you Gaiman.
Josh,
Look at that. You do look
Yeah,
good. I cannot wear a
baby.
V-neck. You are sporting it, brother. I love it. Love it. Hey, here's to Amy. Here's to Amy. That's horrible. I mean,
Thank you.
Feel for you and your family. Goes out to you and everybody else.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
So
Look, we appreciate Frank being on the air with us. This guy's a journeyman in the industry. He knows his stuff. He's dabbled and dibbled in lots of different things. Josh can talk a little bit about that. We've heard about marijuana, beer, whiskey, and comedic fun. So Frank, welcome. Thank you, Lance. Thanks for hooking it up. We're super stoked he's here with us. Wish I was in studio with you, but family prevails at this point.
well, you know, the cool thing is, yes, family definitely prevails. But the cool thing is, he said he's going to be here Saturday, so you can give him a big hug Saturday.
Absolutely. For your big grand opening of your store.
Yeah.
Which looks fantastic, by the way. You guys did a wonderful job.
So it'll be fun. We're scared. We don't know what's going to be happening. We don't know if we're going to have 50
Let me ask
people,
you this.
500 people.
Have you seen the movie Project X?
Yes.
The second Lance started sending me videos of the announcement on the radio this morning, I was just the only thing that could pop through my head. There's always helicopters flying over here, but it could get a little buck wild. So we'll find out.
It's going to get crazy.
Yeah,
I did mention it this morning on the show.
Yep.
And the $10,000 you'll be given, or what, motorcycle gear and accessories.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was like parts. I was like, yeah, we're going to pack this place.
We
Might get a
are
few
going to
people
have death or liquid death here as well.
Keeps calling it death water.
I got stuck in this thing calling it death water, but it's liquid death.
We're trying to get a sponsorship there, and when you call it death water, I'm not sure.
I think they get it because it's liquid death. It's like the whole thing.
And
Is,
for those that haven't seen the 12,487 emails, social posts, pictures, and all that stuff, this Saturday, November 4th, we are having our grand opening party at 2LaneLIVE. We'll have tacos, liquid death,
chili,
10,000-ish dollars in giveaways that we're donating the raffle ticket sales to Harley Drew's Foundation that provides educational and transportation help to inner city youth, and he shares love for motorcycles. So that's that 12,489th time.
Straight out of Compton.
Yeah,
straight
baby.
out of Compton.
Our sponsors have sure stepped up for sure, and we got an email today saying that we've now crossed the dark side because we're stealing money for people by putting up charities. So people don't really read too detailed anymore, and they don't realize this is all going for inner city youth down in Compton to support their education.
Wait, what did they say?
think? Did they think we were pocketing it or what?
Yeah, they quoted Mark, I think 8:3 or something. I don't know. Man has crossed over, and it's just like what. So I sent him back just a note saying, "Hey, look, if you obviously haven't been paying attention, this is all going to inner city youth, or proceeds are going to the inner city youth program, Screaming Eagle organization. You can look it up."
Huh.
Yeah, look
Yeah,
it up, man.
10% is going to that. 90% is going to me for being on the show. It's my
Yes. Unfortunately, it's the only way we
so
could
whoever
make this
trolled
happen.
you like that, then
Only way we could do it.
come on.
But as we know, the people of the internet are always correct and
Oh,
know
yeah.
more about our
They're
lives than
so
we
positive.
do. Yes.
Just Google it.
Yeah.
No, thanks for having me on the show. I totally appreciate it. When Big Lance, I call him Big Lance because I met his son before I met Big Lance.
Well, we have Big Lance, Little Lance, and Micro Lance.
Micro Lance?
Yeah.
I didn't know he named his boy Lance.
He
too.
named him Lance.
Oh, yeah.
There's 3 of us.
There's 3 of you now. Oh, what a family. Congratulations, seriously, on that.
Thank you. They'll be here too.
They're going to be here too. Yeah. I can't wait to see them. But it's like just one of those families that you see and you're just like, that's what you want your family to be like.
Right. You know, Galen has the same type of family. His kids, son and daughter. In fact, we did a daughter trip with our daughters on one of our road trips. It was really great, but we're all about family.
How do you do it? I mean, what's the magic of how you raised your kids and how they're raising their kids and it being such a solid group?
We just like are a tight group. We followed like our normal stuff. We let everyone be themselves,
right?
And being themselves in a good, positive family seemed to work for us. You know,
it did.
Well,
absolutely.
Well, for us, it was all about communication at an early age. And then as the kids got into middle school and high school, we wanted our home to be the destination point. So, you know, we had a pool and a basketball half court and a big screen television that they could play video games on. So people wanted to be there. And then we could see the type of kids they're hanging out with. And those kids, all of them ended up becoming kind of our second kids. We had this family within a family, and for us, it worked out that way. And I'm not sure that works out that way for everyone, but it sure did for us.
You guys are wonderful. I was a horrible father. My kids are grown. They live. That was my goal. As long as they lived past 18, I felt I was a success. But up until that point, I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. I was horrible.
I mean, through the crazy stuff that my son did.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, I'd be at the racetrack and I'd just say, be yourself because yourself is good. Go have fun. You know, I wasn't one of those moto dads that are like, you got to win.
Right.
I was just like, go have a good time.
Go have a good time and be yourself.
Because you know what? You're 8 and nothing really matters.
Yeah,
You don't
you're
need
8
to
years
win,
old, dude.
You know,
yeah.
You could win. I mean, there was one time on the track, and this is where Laura stepped in. He was at Glen Helen. It was a big race. The World Minis were happening, and this whole thing's going on. He's on a 65 Kawasaki, and he got the whole shot, and all the fast kids were behind him. And for like 2 laps, he led, and he was starting to shit his pants. He went over a jump and swapped sideways. He crashed. He's on the ground crying. I pick him up. He's like, I want to go home. I want to go home. And I'm just starting to deal with the moment. And Laura she grabbed his arm and said, you're not going home, buddy. You're going to finish this race. And tomorrow, if you want to quit racing, I'll support you because I don't like racing. But today, you're racing because we brought you here. And I went, whoa.
That's awesome. That is great. You wanted to pull them off right then, right?
Well, were you hurt?
Yeah.
Were you this? She came in
That's
hot,
great.
you know.
That's awesome.
So let's swing back to Frank a little bit. So we had some good stories at the beginning there, and then we got cut off with all that crap. Could you just repeat a little bit how you got into broadcasting and that guy from Indiana that went to school for a number of years and how that all worked out for you?
I never do something twice. I'm a one-take wonder, and we did it already. So sorry, you're not going to hear it again.
You're not?
No. I had this wonderful joke about I was caller 25, and now it's just going to fall flat. No, much like the supportive parents that little Lance had, now the little Lance has, is that I had supportive parents as well. And I was one of those guys that didn't know what I wanted to do. And I changed majors several times, ended up being a geology major, not one broadcasting class. And my buddy Frosty, who was in radio, calls me up my last year of college and says, hey, my morning partner got fired. He worked in Milwaukee at Hot 102 and WLUM. And he says, come up and be my morning partner for a week, you know? And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I go, I'm going to Florida and I'm chasing tail because this is my last year to do this. This is my spring break. He's like, hey, there's women in Milwaukee. and I'll buy all your beer. I'm like, all right, I'm there. I haven't seen the women in Milwaukee yet, so I went. And at the end of the week, they offered me a job to be his morning partner. And I tried, I said, I have 6 weeks till I graduate. Can you guys wait 6 weeks? And no, we're in the middle of a ratings period. This is very important. We need you right now. It's now or never. I'm like, okay. So I quit school with 6 weeks to go and took the job, got fired 4 weeks later, got to go back, see my class graduate. And then I got hired in Denver with Frosty. My sob story with the new boss was like, this guy quit school. Well, you know, help him out. Just bring him out to fire him. Just give him a chance. And so, yeah, we went out to Denver and then we blew up and we had like a 35 share in Denver as far as ratings go. And that's, you know, everybody knew you. I ran into John Elway and he's like, my wife's a big fan.
No,
and I was like, you're John Elway. When I got to Denver, I bought a Toyota Tacoma just so I could have your name on the back of it. Are you kidding me? And so yeah, I wasn't ready for any of that. I was 23 years old and I was, you know, a small town, 5,000 people, West Terre Haute, Indiana. And I've been doing it for 30 years now, 11 years on KLOS. Got the big birthday bash coming up on the 10th of this month at the Hard Rock down in Hollywood. You guys are more than welcome to come and hang out. Yeah, we're doing a live show from the stage, and then we got a band afterwards, Fast Times and 80s cover band called Fast Times. Looked like Spicoli's like lead singer and stuff. It's gonna be a great time. But yeah, I mean it's been great. And I spent 6 years not knowing what I was going to do and got into something that I never knew that I had one idea that I would even try, and I love it. And that's my advice is to, if you ever get a chance to do anything, do it. For a while there when I got fired, I've been fired several times, but it's like if you're never fired, you're not really you're not trying hard enough. So there was a moment when I got fired, but I was still getting paid under contract, so I had a whole year off to do whatever I wanted. And so before I got back into like riding and motorcycle stuff, I was really into like scuba diving. And so I went and got, you know, my open water, my advanced open water, and I even went on to get my rescue diver certification. And I thought I'm just going to go on and get my dive master. And maybe, because I mean, I wasn't so married to the career yet that I was like, oh no, I'm a radio guy. That I thought maybe I'll just run a dive boat someday. And so I don't even know where I was going with that story because I'm so stoned right now. I'm kidding. I have no idea where I was even going with that story.
We did talk about getting a vent
Seriously,
installed so we could smoke in here. Smoke any, you know, doesn't have to be pot, but cigars, you know,
weed.
Oh no, that's what I was going about taking the chance and grabbing the brass ring. Well, the number one rule in scuba diving is never hold your breath, because obviously if you hold your breath, you're gonna come up, the air's gonna expand, you know, blow your lungs out. And so that's just the rule of life for me now. It's like never hold your breath on something. It's like go ahead and push forward and go through. Never hold your breath. Just do it.
Don't wait.
Never hold your breath.
Well, I think that's really good advice, actually, and that's kind of how we operate here. Is we're going for it. I also think it's worth sharing that comedic side of you and how that kind of came about.
I grew up with a very, very funny family. My uncles were hilarious. I had my Uncle Bill, he could have been a host of a game show, you know, and he was so funny. And he would host game nights at his house. And it wasn't just, you know, game nights. It was the variety shows, basically, charades or whatever, and putting on shows. And my whole family would get involved. And everybody had to put on some kind of show. And they were big laughers. And so big support. And so that's where my entire, I guess, at a very young age, I understood what humor was and what funny was and how to make people laugh. Because, you know, my Aunt Carol had that big bombastic laugh. I think we all have an Aunt Carol, right?
Yes,
I think we all have an Uncle Bill.
An Uncle Bill and a loud laugher, like the loudest laugher in the family. And you're like, oh, as long as we make Carol laugh, it's funny.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's how I grew up. And I use that throughout my life because I was a very, very small person. I know it's hard to believe. But I've gained a whole me since my freshman year in high school. I weighed 98 pounds my freshman year in high school. And now I'm over 200. I've gained a whole me since then.
Wow.
How's that possible?
Age.
age. I know. I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
But I was such a tiny guy that I was the guy who got recruited on the wrestling team because they don't have 98 pounders. Like it was such a small guy in high school that a lot of schools didn't have that guy. So like, we just need the 6 points for you to go out there and win. Just raise your hand because there's nobody there.
So not everyone understands that. So you didn't have to wrestle, but the team gets points for every win. So you could hold the trophy and get the team some points.
Oh, right. It's like,
right?
that was the first one because with 98, like 105, 112, it's like the weight classes, and 98 was a tough one to get for most schools. And so, yeah, I totally had a winning record. I'm like, hey, I'm going to regionals, fellas. I'm like, you haven't even wrestled yet. I'm 10-0. So, but I was able to, I mean, because I was small and I had a lot of like, wrestler friends. And I was that wit. I was the guy that I didn't have to wrestle to get, respect.
Right.
I got respect because I made them laugh in the locker room. And if I got picked on by anybody, I was able to rip them to shreds.
Wait. When you made them laugh in the locker room, was that with a towel on or without a towel?
I usually would take my towel off and dance, and then they would all die laughing because I was the only guy like on the team with zero pubic hair. I didn't hit puberty until probably my junior year in high school. I was so late to the game. And so you have to weigh in.
It's a family show, Lance. What are you doing?
Well, you got to check out, why the comedy was going on in the locker room.
No, but seriously, you had to weigh in naked in front of there's lines of guys standing there, and you got to get up there.
I mean, when I was in high school, you showered nude.
Yeah.
That was in high school. That was like a normal thing. It was like,
I was the guy who showered in his skivvies.
Yeah, they don't do that.
I didn't even shower in high school.
Yeah.
What you mean you showered nude is you showered after gym class nude in the showers in the school.
Right.
Yes.
It was required.
Yeah.
And if you didn't shower, then you didn't get like a grade. Like it was part of the curriculum was showering. It was part of the hygiene.
And that doesn't happen nowadays.
So I think where you guys started really clipping very badly was when you started talking about his bikes, Lance. And I think he was talking about fire probably. Maybe you guys run back through that quickly.
Well, he had 7 motorcycles.
Yeah. If you tell 3 stories 2 times, the math adds up, right? That's good.
That's 5 stories.
That's 6.
That works out.
6, yeah.
I had about 8 motorcycles, and a California wildfire came through, Woolsey fire in 2018, and burned my house down completely. It was a complete total loss. And so I didn't grab anything, didn't grab much. I was very confident that my house would be fine for some reason. I'm like, okay, it'll be great. But it wasn't. And I lost all 6 bikes. I lost a Road Glide. I lost my Lowrider S.
What year?
My wife had the Super Low, which was like that pearl and turquoise colored, super low bike. And she's very short.
Does she ride?
Yeah, she wanted to ride.
Wow.
I had her on the back of mine several times, but she's very controlling. Like she's like, I don't want to be on the back. I want to ride my own bike. So she ended up going and getting her motorcycle license, and we would ride together. It was great. But yeah, her bike burned, and then I had a Ducati Monster S4 RS, the Tricolore. It was 2014, and that was the one year they made that in the Italian colors, the Monster. And I went to Beverly Hills Ducati because I hadn't ridden motorcycles in a long time. I grew up with motorcycles. I had the Suzuki 550 GT in high school. Me and another kid rode motorcycles to high school together. He was on a Harley and I was on a Suzuki 2-stroke. It was great. But yeah, I lost all ambition to ride because I was so scared of my kids getting hurt or anything. And so I was like, who am I? What am I? My parents didn't raise me like this. I don't want to do this. And so I went to Beverly Hills Ducati that day after I got off work, and I walked in. I'm looking around, and there's a bike in the window. I'm like, what's that bike in the window? And the guy's like, you don't want that. I go, no, I do. And so it was this bike, and he's like, they only made 400 of these for the United States, and this is number 1 of 400. And it had the placard on the engine and everything. I was like, I'll take it. And so as I'm sitting there doing the paperwork, the phone rings. The guy picks it up. He's like, sorry, Tom. Yeah, I just sold it. No, I don't think he's really excited about it. I don't think he wants to give it back. All right, talk to you later. He's like, that was Tom Cruise who wanted to buy that bike, but because he knew that he was getting it. And you know how Tom loves to ride. And I was like, really? Tom Cruise wants this bike? I'm like, well, give me his number if I ever want to sell it. Yeah. I never got it, but I was like, I had Tom, but that was one of the bikes in the garage when the whole house burned down. It was that 1 in 400. I haven't called the guy who owns 2 in 400, so he still thinks he's second.
Yeah.
But he is number 1 now. He does by default.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was sad as hell. It was devastating. I cried.
Yeah.
Because I went back to the house and I saw the bones.
Right.
Just,
we saw a picture of you.
Oh.
On your.
Did you see the burned bikes?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm trying to fake a smile. I was in such pain right then. Yeah. Great thing was I just had put in a drop-in cooler, like a grill and stuff, that had a drop-in cooler in it. And so I'm there. There's nothing but the chimney standing and this, like, the grill's melted. And there's the drop-in cooler. And I open it up. And it's got like half filled with murky water. I reach in there. And there's cold beer in there.
Yeah,
I'm like, you got to be shitting me. And my neighbor's overlooking at his rubble house too. And I'm like, Larry, I found beer. I was like, I don't know, some weird thing in the universe. Like my mother who had recently passed away. I was like, she knew I needed this beer right now.
Right.
Out of all the stuff that I found like a cold beer. Plus, that's great for like drop-in coolers if you're planning on putting one in.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Well, I got to tell you, though, just sitting in this room right here doing this thing, we have to do it again because we have to have Galen in studio, because I think if he's sitting here with us and we're all in the same studio, the energy in here will just explode.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be, you got to be in studio.
Well, I know you got to do what you got to do, Galen.
With that, I'm going to jump out. Yeah. With that, I'm going to jump out. I've got to run over to something here, but you're in good hands with our fellas. And I just want to
do your thing, man.
Yeah. I want to personally thank you for showing up, and sorry, we had a little hiccup there, but we'll see you Saturday. And boys, take it on. Let's go. See you down the road. Yes, talk to you later.
Good luck, brother.
Down the road.
Later, Galen.
Boom. And welcome back to the Lance and Frank show. No, I'm kidding.
Wow. Well, that's a bummer. Too bad he has to do that, but family stuff comes first, and that's what you got to do.
Absolutely. That's just devastating to hear that story.
About
his sister-in-law at 48 years old, too.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a bummer. That's a bummer. Everyone get out there and exercise and eat right and do your best to have a good time every day.
Exactly. And tell everybody you love them every day.
Yeah, that's for sure. That is for sure.
So 7 bikes gone. What are you on to now?
Well, I did get 2 more.
Okay.
I had the picture you guys posted for the show, our collaboration on Instagram. That black Road Glide was one that I lost. And so I have a new Road Glide because I love that bike so much. That I bought a new one, but it's in billiard blue. And I rode that one up to Yosemite and drove to Yosemite.
Nice.
That's such a nice ride up through that area.
Have you done much Arizona riding?
I have not. I want to.
Oh, man.
No?
You can't do it.
Dude, definitely.
Oh,
okay.
The whole state's amazing. But you're northern Arizona, eastern Arizona, southern. I mean, it's just like there's so much amazing stuff, and the weather's amazing. And when storms come in and they leave, and you're left with like something you wouldn't have seen. We came up with a slogan: if you don't go, you won't know.
Right.
And it's true. And it's like southern Utah and northern Arizona, absolutely my favorite.
Yeah, my daughter's dating a guy whose family lives in Arizona. So it'll give me a reason to ride out there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Go to Williams, Arizona, hit Route 66.
Yeah.
Kingman, Seligman, Peach Springs, all these places. And you get into Williams and it's like neon and it's old Route 66. And it's like, we hang out there. We love it.
And all that kind of has its own like Western feel. When you really get into northern Arizona, and you're in the ponds, you're in the mountains. I mean, Salt River Canyon, Globe, Arizona, Tortilla Flat. There's some epic roads. It's not. I used to just picture it as, between here and Vegas.
Are you guys staying in like the finest of hotels?
We do. We like
Are you unrolling on the side of the street.
No, we stay in hotels. We've been called Rubs before.
Yeah.
And now you know what Rub is?
What's a Rub?
Rich Urban Biker.
Oh, okay.
So, but we get some cool motels. We've been in historic hotels. We go eat. We enjoy libations when we eat. We work. We film. We enjoy everything we're doing, and we've camped once.
On the few long range trips that I've taken, it's like it is about when you're finding those little places, and it almost seems like when you ride up on your bike to a diner or something, and you walk in, and it's just the warm and the welcome. Like, where are you guys going? Where you been? What do you like? That everybody wants to.
They want to hear it.
Yeah, and it's very welcoming, and so I've always envied exactly what you guys are doing,
and that's my drive for it. And I always tell people, if you watch news, don't watch it. Turn the TV out, because if you get out in the country and meet people, we're being lied to, and you're not, because everything out in the country is great. There's great people, all walks of life. We meet them. We're shaking hands with America. We have friends in other states now. Like when we go to Williams, we go in the Canyon Club bar, and we know everyone in there, and it's like, hey,
that's why like the shows like Huell Hauser was so great, because Huell was so excited about everybody he met and everything that he saw, and Charles Corral was another guy on the road with Charles Corral. Was like one of those Sunday morning shows you had to watch. He just went out in the RV, but he could just the people he would meet and dive into their stories. I mean, that is America. And if you get off the internet and start and what the trolls are saying and stop watching the news and get out a little bit. Are more, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but as far as like riding, are people, as far as bike sales, are people are being motorcycle enthusiasts, is it declining? Is it growing?
I hear it's declining, but what I see is it not declining, because I see people wanting to ride. But
I mean, even on a ground floor level of us having the store, there's still plenty of people coming in with new bikes.
Right.
During the pandemic, stuff like that, it was probably more frequent. Like, hey, brand new bike. Hey, brand new bike. I want to do this, want to do that. I don't know.
I think what you guys are doing with 2LaneLIVE,
is
and like showing that, like, that's what the Charles Corrals and the House were doing. Is like, this is how you want to experience it.
Exactly.
Like,
absolutely.
Because I've been to Yosemite, and I've been in Yosemite in a car, and it's completely different experiences of being on a bike where you're at the magnificence.
I mean, we've done these trips where we go. Well, let's say we go to Page, Arizona. We stay there for a whole week. We've talked to the mayor. We talked to the Chamber of Commerce. We have people that set up this. You can meet this person. That we end up at that restaurant, at this bar, at this machine gun place where you can shoot machine guns, an ATV place. We're taking a ride, and we're in the dam, but we're meeting all these people, and a lot of them that we meet say, "Hey, do you mind being on camera and tell us what we want to hear?" I'm not really good at this, and then all of a sudden, we turn the camera on, and they start talking. And I'm like, I even stop and go, "You're really good at this, and you really want to tell your story," because they do.
Right.
They really, and they thank us, and everything like that we've done. There's been this fate involved, and even like meeting Josh. I mean, we start this thing where Galen and I are out on trips riding around. Our families are like, "Why are you not sharing this with people? Because you come back and tell us these great stories." So we're like, "All right." And Lance goes, get a camera and get iMovie and make your little videos and stuff. And we do a trip, and we come back, and we like start, and we don't want to do this. We're like, So we walk over to Thrashing and say, "Hey, does anyone here know a guy that edits?" Well, Rob in the warehouse goes, "Yeah, I have a friend, I acquaintance, a friend guy, Josh. Here's his number. Here's like a video he did. Oh, that looks pretty cool, We call him. Next day, he comes to this parking lot, meets us. We give him footage. He edits it. He come back, and we're like, "Wow, we have like this epic video of us." He made this great thing. And so we do these trips, and we bring the footage. And then it was like, he started working in the office, and it was like, "You need to go on a trip with us." Then as soon as that happened, he's been on every trip with us. And the point I'm getting to is, he rides. How old are you now? 26?
26.
So he's this young man who's got a very old soul. He loves traveling. He loves meeting people. He loves talking to people in these small towns. Everything we love, he loves.
Yeah.
And he captures the essence of all of us, because he knows us real good now. He knows when we're fighting. He knows but now he's a character in the show.
Right.
That people love. It's like the three of us, but they dig our wives.
It's
we have 5 of us that go traveling,
When you would come home and tell your friends or whoever what you did, it's almost like you had to be there. And now with the ability to video and videography vlog it. It's like you are there. It's like,
yeah.
Okay, I'm with you. And I'm saying the inspiration, like I think the inspiration is going to increase people's awareness, and maybe increase people's awareness in the motorcycle safety of like
I think so.
phones, and look around, because there's people out there who are riding motorcycles. And,
but we all enjoy the same journeys, and we all have. I mean, people say it's a lot of work when you're out there filming and stuff, and we're like, it is a lot of work, but we're digging it because we're like producing this thing to share with you. So it's when we're riding and filming,
and you find your groove. It's funny. We had a comment the other day, and some guy was like, and I'm not trying to chop it down by any means, but I know how it feels, man. I bring a GoPro on a ride. I'll try like 13 cameras, whatever.
We bring a lot of equipment.
But it is, like you said, it's something you get used to. It's something that I think for us, almost trying to focus more on capturing that essence and capturing how it would be, maybe not how it always is, makes you notice things, makes you enjoy it.
Have you gotten back, like I said, when you found that guy who's like, didn't want to tell a story, and that was 4 years ago or 3 years when you started. If you rode back through that place and was like, let's stop by that guy's house and see what he's up to now, or wherever.
We've run across a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's awesome. I mean, we have people, really friends that we know now in Arizona and in Utah and wherever, Sturgis, South Dakota, Deadwoods. I mean, we have a bunch of friends there, and it's like, so Sturgis, it's this great motorcycle rally that's going to be the 81st year. I think this year's 82 or whatever it is.
84 this coming year.
So we go there, and it's being there is awesome, but it's more so the journey that we take as guys on bikes with each other, laughing and having a good time and eating dinner, and just all the bull crap and buffoonery that happens on the way there is the trip. The trip is fantastic when you're there, but the way there is.
I mean, in the way that I can relate, as far as you guys putting out your stuff, it's almost like you become the riding buddies, and everybody wants to have a group of riding buddies like you guys.
Everybody does,
and they're always there and always accessible and always eager and always ready to go. Is like doing radio for morning radio as long as I've done it. It's that I'm in the car with people, so it's like I'm in the commute every morning. They're hanging out with me and my friends,
right?
And so I've had people come up to me and say, I remember listening to your show when their mom was taking them to school in the morning.
Right.
And now they're taking their kids to school in the morning and they're still listening to me. And I'm like, that's crazy. I've actually raised these people. But it's like, that's when you become part of their life. And so when it comes like when the birthday bash happens, I look so forward to our live events.
Right.
And if I was to suggest anything, it's like for you guys is to have live events, because you have these people who've connected with you that maybe you will never go on a ride with, but they've been on every single one of your rides.
Well, we do stuff like at the 120th and Harley, Milwaukee. We went there. I mean, we go to places where there's rallies and things, and we hang out. And all we do all day is shake hands and say hi to people. But we did like how many nights at Top Rocker or Mulholland?
The bike nights.
In the bike night.
Yeah.
And we did, hey, come here and talk to it,
Yeah, and they totally appreciate that, because because when I go to these events, it's funny. I see people as they got my mom's Christmas letter about the family.
Right.
They know everything about me.
Right.
I don't know anything about them. So it's like I see everyone as like a distant cousin.
Right.
And they're coming up and going, "Hey, Frank," and I'm like, "Hey," and I recognize faces, from other people, that from other events. But it's like, I want to meet everybody who comes out.
We love it. And we love meeting the people.
Yeah.
And when we get them walking up to us, a father and son, and they say, "We're riding because of you guys."
Right.
We had a guy come up to us and say, "I have 10,000 miles on my couch watching you guys' video." We're like, I love that, man. We're going to make a shirt that says
and he has a fan cranked on him. So
he
feels the wind in his face as he's watching.
Yeah. And we get those stories. We had a woman that called us and said one of her family members died of cancer. And then her dad and her watched our videos every Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
He passed away. And she wanted to know if we would come to Kingman for his funeral and be there for his ash.
Yeah.
Funeral. And it's like, yeah, we'll come.
Oh my God.
We always want to be with the people that watch us and love our videos, because we're doing it for them. We and us as well.
and you're doing it, then you're doing it for the right reason. And everything else will happen. All the other success will happen. I mean, it's like, as far as like, me getting up every day and like realizing what I'm allowed to do every day, and I'm allowed to do it. Like the radio show. It's like they invite me into their cars, they invite me into their homes, and I appreciate that, and I'll never forget it. And so to be like you said, with the cancer and the person passed away, I've had people say that they're driving the chemotherapy with their kid. They're listening in the car and they're laughing together, because like there's really nothing funny going on in this moment, because I'm driving my father to get chemo, but this is what we share, and this is what we still laugh at. Or people who've lost people and go, I never thought I'd laugh again. Right. And then you guys brought me out of it and make me laugh. And so that's what I'm not trying to change the world. I stay away from all the politics and bullshit. Right. I'm just trying to make your day go by a little bit faster and give you a smile. If you can smile a little bit, go into whatever you're going through. Everyone's going through their own shit, Right.
Absolutely. And they don't need to hear shit when they want to just be entertained.
I'm not trying to change the world. I think that's why I get away with so much. I get away with a lot. I mean, with this cancel culture and everything going on right now, is like I get away with a lot, but I think it's because I'm not trying to change the world. That's just Frank. That's just Frank being fun and
gnarly. For All in the Family, how
that's my favorite show.
Yeah.
Archie Bunker was my grandfather.
Yeah. That was so not correct.
Oh yeah,
but it was so awesome because we were humorous about it.
A great way to do it, and him and George Jefferson being like, it was just perfect. It was perfection. I really wish we could get back to that, where it's like, let's have fun with
I miss that.
Yeah, I totally miss that too.
But like our whole thing when we first started was like, we're here to inspire you to get out and find the open road. And after doing this for 4 years, let's say this year, it's turned on us. We've been inspired by the people that tell us how we change our life. So it makes us want to even do more, better, have fun, humor, live, the whole thing.
Being able to give back. And you guys do a lot with like the charity, like you're doing with this event on Saturday, and the proceeds going to this inner city Compton organization that helps get kids transportation to school and introducing them to motorcycles. Is awesome.
Harley Drew, he's been on a few Harley rides with us. He's inner city. He rides Harleys. He's famous for riding Harleys in his Nikes. But his grandfather was the founder of a club in the 40s.
I think one of the I could totally be botching the history, but one of the first African-American motorcycle clubs in LA or something like that.
And they wore white button-down shirts and the polo pants. And they were dapper, because in that time it wasn't like the 80s, it was the 30s and 40s. So they had dressed nice and they rode, and they were like this club, and his grandfather raised him. That's how he's into motorcycles, and he likes helping. He wants the young kids in the city to see a motorcycle and figure out, this wrench goes like this.
Right. To be able to do that.
Learn stuff. So that's why we're doing this. He's a good guy. We'll see what happens.
And about giving back and using the platform that you have. It has, I mean, over the last 4 years, I mean, you guys, I've just been watching you guys tell me the story about how it's grown. It's like, it's amazing what you're doing and the popularity you have. We, every year do like a radiothon for 2 days for St. Jude's, the children of St. Jude's. And we have raised over like $1 million over those 2 days. And but I'm like, every other day that I do the show, that's the reason I do the show. Like those 2 days right there are the reason I do it all. And so to be able to give that back is absolutely amazing. It's a wonderful feeling. And my audience, coming through for me and giving, because I always say it's like when you have healthy kids, and we've been lucky, is that it's almost paying like your healthy kid tax, right? Where it's like you need to pay it like you, because you have healthy kids. How much would you pay to make sure your kids stay healthy, right? And over here we have a kid who has cancer, right? And then the money just rolls in. Plus, I also threw my boss under the bus, and I said, "F Keith, F cancer." And I said, if we raise $1.5 million this year, Keith has to resign. And we raised more money than any other year, because everyone's telling their boss to go fuck themselves. Right. And I do that every single day. Right. It's like I'm always like ripping on Keith, ripping on corporate or whatever. It's like that's what everybody wants to do, and I do it. Right. So
that's part of the thing, man.
Yeah, it's part of the thing. It's part of being live. It's part of and I'm one of the few radio guys who still go live. Right. There's so many that just let me record this. Like if a song is playing, we don't play any music.
Right.
We're live. And so when radio people see us doing what we're doing, they're like, you're live right now?
Right.
Nobody does that. And if you're listening, it's like, yeah, they'll record a call and they'll put themselves in it and make sure it sounds all perfect and play it up the ramp of a song. It's like, I was never into that.
No, I mean, look, we had our fumble here today.
And I love that.
You know?
I mean, I know you guys probably like, oh, great. You know, the guy who's in radio comes on and we had but I'm like, that's fantastic.
Right.
We have to roll with it. Like,
yes, sir.
You could, it's just, that's life.
Right.
You think you have control, but you have no control whatsoever. So if you're going to get upset every time you lose control, you're going to have a shitty life.
We're going to do some stuff. We found there's a riding group called the Fletcher Street Cowboys, and they're in Philadelphia. There was a movie called Concrete Cowboys. It's all in Philadelphia. It's in a rough neighborhood. They had horses and they would do these little rodeos and ride. The founder's still alive.
Wow.
We already set it up. We're going to talk to him. We're going to go there and do a whole thing. It's a black cowboys, and they were real. They're real. They're there. I even think there's some in LA. But
yeah, I think there's a group of black cowboys in LA still riding horses around.
Yes. And so these guys are gnarly. But
wait, what was that? The movie that was it a horror film that came out with the UFO? Up? No, Up. A horror film. Crap. I can't remember the name of the movie now, but it was based on that ranch.
Yeah. Well, these they do inner city kids, teach them how to do horse stuff, barn work, this and that. So we're gonna ride our Harleys there. And we're gonna go interview the guy. We're gonna hang out. Hopefully he throws us on a horse, makes us clean a barn, whatever.
Yeah.
Be involved with him for a day or two, and let him tell the story.
I think it was called Nope.
Nope. Oh,
yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah. That was based off
that a series.
It was a movie, but it was based off of those black cowboys in Los Angeles.
Right. There was like a UFO over this house.
Right.
And yeah.
I think that's loosely based on
pretty trippy. Pretty trippy. But yeah. Now look, it's Josh is gone. Galen's gone. We're just sitting here. You're digging.
Thank you for the 4 roses, by the way.
But we got to get your stuff in here.
This is excellent. My stuff.
You need to bring it in though, and you need to sit here and we need to do a tasting. Do the tasting thing.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. We should do a collaboration to have like your audience. They get it. They'll all have the boxes and we'll all be tasting it, because it is something very communal about sitting around drinking whiskey together. But then with blindbarrels.com is what my whiskey tasting subscription is. Every 3 months you get a box that has 4 different bottles in it, and all the bottles are from micro distilleries around America. And this is the bottles you can't find anyplace, as your local liquor stores. You're not going to find these because these are like grain to glass, guys.
Wow.
And so they have mastered it, but they just don't have that mass marketing or the ability, the big guys pushing them off the shelves.
Right.
And then they got to buy all their stuff back, and they end up going out of business. They can't afford it. So I wanted to get back to that small guy.
Right.
And to give you access to some of the finest whiskeys. And so it's every 3 months you get 4 bottles, and then you can taste them, see if you can't taste the mash bill, and go, oh, it's a little tastes smoky or vanilla or whatever.
Right.
And then you can buy the bottle directly through the app and at a discount, and the farmer send it directly to you.
Wow. I mean, we got to tour some distilleries in Kentucky and Tennessee with Letitia.
Right.
She lives there. So she took us to the big ones, big name,
Yeah.
But to see this big production, it's like, wow, crazy.
But
giant barrels as big as this room.
I'd love to do a collaboration where you guys ride to some of these very, very small distilleries and talk to these guys, because they are characters too.
We'll do it.
My God, these guys. Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Let's set it up.
Yeah. And then I'd go on a ride with you.
That'd
give me a reason to hop on the old road glide and take a long trip again.
Right.
And that's the thing about what I do is I do morning radio every single day.
Right.
Monday through Friday, 5 days, 5 days a week, 4 hours a day. It's hard for me to get that time.
Yeah. How do you get time off?
I mean, I take maybe 2 weeks in the summer, and then I get the over the holiday, the 2 weeks over the holidays. So I get a month off a year, and whether it be a sick day, it's everybody knows I'm not at work. You know what I mean? It's if I'm late, they know.
Right.
And so it's I don't get to take that much time off, but I wish I had more time. Or what you guys are doing, it's so fantastic. And because I love what I do. I know you just turn what you love, what you do, into doing this. and people can feel that love, and it's very therapeutic. Getting back on motorcycles, I forgot how, with mental health.
Oh, yeah.
But I think everybody who rides, that's their mental health. That's their therapy. That's their antidepressant, whatever it might be for them. It's amazing.
Well, yes, and we use comms, the Cardo headsets, and we do it for filming.
Yeah.
So we can hear each other's conversation because we record those. But we talk about, oh, there's a car turning left up there for safety reasons.
Absolutely.
But the 4-hour ride home or wherever we're going, when we're not filming, it's the most X-rated comedy show.
It's fucked up.
We should record it.
No, you have to.
It would be, it's just so bad. And so we're the biggest weirdo asshole.
Yeah.
The conversation between the three of us is just like, we change our voices. We're like,
if you ever wanted to get canceled, if I ever had that idea in my head and wanted to record that, it would be game over.
But we love it. It's like,
but you have it all right. You have all of it recorded. No, I'm saying you got to put this together, but not for an exclusive. Whether it can be edited, I mean, obviously,
yeah.
But to be like to have that exclusive
behind the scenes.
So on the beta version of the Cardo app, so they reached out to us to test out that functionality. It didn't tell other riders when you were recording. So one phone records the whole group's conversation. But once it updated, it did. So on the way to Sturgis, there was a couple of days where I just kind of press record, and I got to delete this before it enters the wrong hands. God. Good times.
See, that's what I mean. Being on the radio, there's certain FCC rules we have to follow,
right? Yep.
And that's I think that's great. I mean, as far as that kind of regulation, because that makes you be creative in the way you want to say things, where it's just like you're just not blatantly just throwing it out there. And I think with a lot of podcasts, things like that, when it was happening, there's so many people who have them that shouldn't have them,
right?
But with the guidelines, when the microphone is off and the guidelines are lifted, it's like, well, how far can we go?
Right.
And that, I think that allows us to be able to, let's jump across this line way over here that you could never air this. We would totally be canceled in a heartbeat.
Right.
And then jump back across to be back here in the mainstream where we won't be canceled. You got to have that balance. And we just play a game in our office, because I always wanted to have like a big conference table as an office, because I wanted everybody sitting at the table.
Right.
So we could all sit around it and have ideas and have conversations. And best idea wins. It was never about anything like anything else. But as the ideas are, going around, we'd have the door open, and that was to like everybody else, like in the office. I mean, this is like where there's an HR department and everybody else, and we would have these creative meetings that would get
really
these rides home. And the game was who would be so offended that they would eventually get up to go shut the door. Because they didn't want anybody out there hearing it. And so we would just tempt ourselves, keep going as far as we could. And yeah, you're right. You could never play that stuff.
You're right. Yeah, nothing happened.
Burn it. Never let us see the light.
I mean, we'll be falling off our bikes laughing.
Oh my God.
Riding, just like going, oh my God.
But
I can't believe
some of the best stuff.
The other side of that, I thought you were going to say this, is whether it's a 7-day trip and we're riding home on day 6 or 7, whatever it is, or a 2-day trip and we're just on that last 4 hours home. Sometimes we're just so sick of each other's stuff.
We're like, shut up.
It's just music, maybe not even music, just silence, listening, and just enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
Just completely relaxed. I mean, that we did a 1,000-mile day from Deadwood, South Dakota to Vegas this past
35 to be exact.
I think it was like 1087. There was a 21-inch front wheel that might have thrown things. I don't know. I'm not sure, but that was like, there was probably some of the longer stretches that we went without talking and just sitting back, cruise control, lean back. Everyone's exhausted, but you're still so focused on what's going on.
Right.
That, I mean, there's nothing that I've ever done that compares to that.
Get to be in your own head for a while.
For sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
That I had some vocal polyps.
Is that like a growth or?
Yeah, some little growth my vocal cords, and this is like the second time around I've had them, and so I had to get them removed. I was sounding really like they weren't connecting. And so really, I mean, I go back and listen to those tapes. I'm like, oh my God. But to recover, you can't talk at all for like 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And so going from being a talk show host and not being able to talk, and then being at home and, you know, forgetting because there's other people, like, when they forget that you can't talk, they're like, hey, you know, and I'm like, you know, I'm like, I can't. So I ended up, you know, leaving and going and like staying at a separate place by myself for 2 weeks.
Wow.
And so without speaking for 2 weeks and not really seeing anybody. So I was able to be with myself and all those voices in your head that you have that you're always talking to, and they're not always positive.
Right.
Sometimes they're positive.
50-50.
But a lot of the times they're
Yeah.
the negative talkers. And it's like, it was great. It's almost like you know, like with the writing and not talking and like and being with those voices in your head, you get to talk to them.
Yeah. Agreed.
And you get to say, listen,
Listen,
simmer
buddy.
down. I'm going to handle this. Yeah. You don't need to be telling me all these negative thoughts
For sure.
and getting me going down a wrong road. And so without having to go take a sabbatical for 2 weeks by yourself and be a monk and, you know, vow silence,
Go ride your motorcycle.
Being on a 1,000-mile ride
Yeah.
with nothing going on and just the sounds of the road.
Yeah.
In the wind in your helmet is like, you get that intense 2 weeks, boom,
in
there
in a day, you know.
And then when you ride back home, you're set. You've had all that. You've had discussions the entire way.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're fine now.
I mean, we've even had.
Totally.
I know I sound like a crazy person, but
no,
I mean, it's
anyone who gets it, you know.
I think
what's understood doesn't need to be
people that
explained.
ride,
they got it. Yeah.
You know.
And we've talked about even doing solo trips. So doing a video series where each of us goes out on a solo trip, whether it's the same time or a separate time. I've done a couple small ones. Like I was going up north for a couple months, and sometimes I would take the bike, and that was cool. Just NorCal. Went to go visit a buddy in Phoenix one time. But other than that, it's just been like a couple days. To do a week on the road solo and having those experiences like you're talking about, where when you're actually traveling, people are like, what are you doing, man? Like, what's going on? So to have that as an individual, which, you know, depending on who you ask, may be more approachable to other people or less. Like, is someone going to come up to you and say, hey, where are you going? If you're alone or with a group? I don't know. I'm just rambling. But
no,
have that,
it's great.
It would be an interesting experience as well.
That's
you know,
a wonderful angle.
Because you're going to find yourself alone.
Right.
You know, and that's the whole premise of this thing is like, go somewhere, film everything you want to film, eating dinner alone, talking to the camera, not whatever you want to capture, bring it back. He edits it. And there's 3 different videos of,
and the characters that you meet. I mean, some of the greatest conversations that I've had, some of the greatest people I've ever met has been in dive bars.
Yeah.
You know, sitting there. And I mean, I met a Irish guy who's a stuntman back in the day. And he was telling me this most wonderful stories like about, it was John Wayne. And I was, you know, and I was like, what? You know, and everybody, like Al Pacino came to my wedding, my 3rd wife.
Wow.
And, you know, he showed up in shorts and like those crazy stories.
Right.
And it's like, he was just this, and it's just all who you buy a beer for. It's like, hey, you know, let's get the guy a beer over here. It's on me. And then you just start chopping it up. And some of the finest people. Yeah.
It's definitely cool.
Eddie Stacy was his name. And you can look him up, look at his IMDb. And he's responsible for the guy who is 007. What the guy who currently he's going to retire as 007. He's not going to do it anymore. But Daniel Craig.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Daniel Craig is 007. I guess he directed a stunt scene for Daniel Craig, a fight scene. And Daniel called him and says, "Hey Eddie, I need that fight scene because I'm auditioning to be James Bond." And that fight scene is what got Daniel Craig James Bond. He was this is guys telling me the story of like this is dive bar. So it's like you just never know
for
who
sure.
you meet. So these stories on the road, and like some people are really open. You ride up on a bike, to open up to you because you are. I think everybody has that. I want to be that guy.
You won't know unless you
that
go.
guy on that bike.
Yeah.
I envy him, even if they don't know how to ride for some reason. They're always like, I want to be that guy on that bike.
Well, my wife wouldn't let me get a bike, but
You know, it's funny when we pull up to somewhere and the 3 bikes pull in, and there are these beautiful, nice Harleys pull in, and we get off the bike, and Josh pulls out his Sony and he's got his headphone, and hey, we just arrived here, blah blah blah, and it's like people are like, as soon as they see the Sony,
what the hell's going on, dude?
they're like, what are you guys? Yeah. What are you filming? And then so many times, oh, we have a YouTube channel, we travel all over the country, and then also you see 3 kids in the backseat of the car go,
oh yeah,
is it you? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah,
it's you.
Just
the
like,
beard didn't give it away when you saw the picture of the guy.
Yeah.
But just like the motorcycle opens that door conversation, the cameras do it too.
Yes.
Whether we got a big rig set up or we're just walking around with GoPros, people are curious. They want to know what other people are doing. They want to have those experiences.
We do very ad lib, hey, we might learn the history about this place right before we get there. And then we get in there, we jump off the bikes. There's nothing scripted. It's just we talk, but we kind of have a setup and a vibe that we go. Lance is more GoPro, run and gun, just boom, boom. What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah,
Right.
But his work, ours work, it's 2 different vibes. And when we get together and all of us are riding, it's Lance and Juan and us 3. We create these other videos, it's cool,
No, they're great. It's absolutely fantastic what you guys are doing. And thank you so much for allowing me to come in here and hang out.
Hey,
absolutely.
I want to go on a ride, fellas.
Let's go.
What's
we
the
got one
comment
coming up
there from Road to
Road to Nowhere says, yes, but Lance Sr., it depends on the state. In California, no one cares. In other states, people are like, hey, who is that?
You're
depending on
right
where
to a
you're at.
certain
Yeah.
point, but we've had people in California where we've brought that out of them because everyone still likes that and they want to open up and they want to be, even California. I make an issue to hold the door for a lady and thank you. They're still
right.
So it's still out there. I know what you're saying, but it is still out there. And my wife and I have a great time. We'll go to eat and we'll see like an older couple sitting there eating and I have to. It's just like, hey, waiter, give me their ticket.
Oh yeah.
And I got to buy their dinner because they look cool. And their dinner's usually like $32.
It's like $47.
They split it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, cool. We've been in bars and one of our favorite things is Beatty, Nevada. We'll go into the bar in Beatty and it's an old little bar. You ever been to Happy Burrow Chili and Beer up in Beatty?
I have not, but
it's a little bar. It's probably as big as this room right here. And there's like probably 20 people max in the bar.
No, I mean, maybe 15,
and
maybe.
We go in there and we know, people know, and then we start talking to people and this and that. And I love saying, drinks are on us.
Oh yeah.
And then, the lady at the end of the night, she's like, oh, here's how much we owe you. $82. Oh, all right.
I know.
Here it would have been $282.
Right.
Yeah.
They're going back to Indiana.
Yeah.
And it's like, around for everybody. And it's like, yeah, $35. I'm like, this is great. How much are beers? $2 for long necks.
So I'm putting a challenge out there to all you guys. No matter where you are, go out there and try and pull the good out of people. And you'll be surprised how easy it is to pull it out.
And for the comment about, California, it's like, if you've ridden California at all, meaning the state from the south to the north, you're going to see, as far as like the terrain, the like from farms to the rolling hills to the mountains to the
middle America in those places.
Yeah, it has everything. And when you get out in those areas, we're all there. It's not that Southern California Hollywood where it's like they don't care, everybody's up there. It's like, I think that's the stereotype of like California has, but it's like the California is a lot of people who are a lot like middle America and everybody else. It's like it's not.
It's the energy you get out there when you walk up to strangers that brings out.
And the thing is, a lot of people are transplants like me.
Yeah,
I'm from Indiana and I'm a transplant. I've lived in California longer than I lived in Indiana.
Right.
And I said, that makes me Californian, doesn't it? Like, no, you're still. I mean, I'm from Indiana, but I brought that here.
Right.
That's like when you go to a football game at SoFi and you're going to a Chargers game. I feel bad for Chargers because the stadium is covered with the color of the other team because there's so many people from outside of the state who have transplanted. Right. So it's like if the Bengals are here, it's orange everywhere, and then there's a little bit of blue.
Right.
You're like, Broncos come out. It's they're
Well,
orange again.
The LA football fans or LA sports fans are not like Indiana or places that's their team.
Yeah.
Our team, we live here. Our team might be over there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You bring your team with you to California.
Yeah.
It's like, but
I mean, I've lived here my whole life, but I was born in Michigan. But when I
okay.
was 6 months old, my parents moved here.
Okay.
So
any family back there in Michigan?
now that
No,
everyone
left.
70 of them just,
Wow.
So we had a big family here in Southern California.
I think Indiana is one of the few states we haven't been through. We've been Illinois, Ohio, Wisconsin, but never really Indiana.
And you skipped Indiana.
Sounds like we're maybe
That's
not
where
missing
David
a ton of
Letterman's
riding.
from.
That,
it's right
now we
next
got to go.
between-
The Jacksons are from Indiana.
It's right between Illinois and Ohio.
Yeah, we've been to Kentucky, Ohio,
the pink
Illinois.
state right there.
Yeah.
And I got, since we're live right now, right?
Yes.
I gotta give a shout out to Bobby Knight, who passed away at the age of 83, Indiana basketball coach, a legend. People say he was controversial, but I mean, my father loved him. I loved him. He was one of the greatest basketball coaches of all time. He would yell, he would scream,
Throw chairs across.
he would throw a chair, he would choke a player.
Yeah.
And so he was fantastic. So here's to Bobby Knight. I'm sorry.
Bobby Knight.
Cheers,
Hey,
cheers.
but I got to say one thing. When we left Milwaukee to Maine, we did go through Indiana.
That's a good point.
It's forgettable.
We did.
No, we had to because we went from Milwaukee, home of our HQ headquarters.
Yeah, you had to come around there.
We went down and around and up through into the Maine. What a
Mhm.
great trip that was.
That was incredible. That was a shock
How
for
many
us.
miles do you guys have on your bikes?
A lot.
A lot of trips we'll do on, like that one we flew to Milwaukee. So we got on EagleRider bikes.
No, that one we got on Harley bikes.
Oh, that was
at the-
Harley
at the
Media, but
factory.
similar. I mean, my bike is I got it year and a half, 2 years ago. It's got like 46K. Galen's has got like 70 something, I think.
My old bike had 75 on it.
Yep.
So I
Now,
would
at that
say
point, is that when you say,
new?
okay, so it's 75 mark, it's like, okay.
But I mean, for us, because we travel so much, we want to have fresh, and
Right.
new, and we always like the newer bike to go, and people love to see the brand new stuff,
Right.
so
But you guys put in 75,000. It's like, it doesn't take that long for
No.
you guys.
no,
Yeah.
I mean,
The first year we got into filming, the three of us, pretty heavily. I mean, we were, at least 65,000 in 1 year.
yeah,
Because we were doing Route 66. We were riding to Texas. We were riding to, Sturgis twice in 1 year to do that little doc series. So it was kind of nonstop, but
we'll be
things are
going there a lot
changing.
more now.
Yeah.
It's all been states.
Yeah,
One trip in Canada.
Are we going outside the states?
we did Canada.
Oh, you did Canada?
Yeah, we did a real cool loop in Canada. That was a great series with EagleRider bikes.
What part? Was it in British Columbia?
We flew into Salt Lake, went straight up through Idaho, Montana, up into Kamloops, and
Okay.
like up in that, and came down into Seattle.
Did you go to Glacier National
Oh,
Park
yeah.
through Montana? Oh,
We
my God.
tried.
That is like my happy place on the planet.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Glacier
definitely
National Park is like, talk about when to feel
Cool. Oh yeah,
Nuts.
like perspective.
it was. I mean, just even in the condo at what city was that in?
When we crossed over
Banff? No, not Banff. Right below
in Canmore.
Canmore.
Yeah.
And you're looking at these giant mountains with the Three Sisters on
Oh,
it. And
yeah.
you're like, wow, this is huge stuff.
Yeah.
So and it's the greatest thing is we love getting into a town. We love parking our bikes. We love walking down their main street, hitting the bar, hitting the restaurant. And then, that's our night now,
Yeah.
that's the greatest.
Do you guys set yourself up in seasons, like season 1 and season 2? It's
we
like
should have. I mean, up
season 3,
until
we're gonna ride Japan.
that would be, we're trying to figure that out, right? In 4 years, pretty much 4 years, we've dropped a weekly video on Wednesday every single week without missing a single one. And a conversation we've had this year is, do we take at least like a 2-week break, get refreshed, reset, come up with some fresh ideas, and be a little more objective with some of these stories, right? Instead of just like, hey, we're going on a road trip, which is great. We love it.
Yeah.
Do we do something like the Canada trip was about our first international trip? We're experiencing these new things. you know, the Sturgis trip is about Sturgis. Is there something, like you said, we're going to Japan, we're going to, I've really wanted to do a cross country on Vespas, just something random,
my
you know,
God.
like you said, something crazy, right?
Yeah. On monkeys.
That would be,
I got two
Yeah.
monkeys.
really,
Those Honda
yeah,
monkeys.
yeah,
Yeah, I got 2 of those.
hell yeah. That or a Trail 50 or something,
Yeah.
you know?
Well,
One of the
they're
two.
125s. I mean, you might want to be
Yeah,
on 125. You're gonna go cross country.
Right.
It'd take 9 months.
It's got a
But-
nice cushy seat on
Yeah.
it.
We've got some plans to go the other side of the pond. We're working on that. So, you know, who knows?
Now keep doing it, fellas.
We get invited to Australia all the time. We've been invited.
Don't sound so
Dominican.
bummed.
I know he's like, oh, Australia,
The
everyone's
most beautiful
so
country.
attractive. It's like it's wonderful. Actually, it's summer down there now.
I know. So we could call a number of people and they would like hook it up, you know, and to go down there. But you said dive bar earlier, and I wanted to say in Kentucky, in Cave City, Letitia,
Yeah.
she owns a bar she named it the Dive Bar.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it's a fun bar.
that wasn't
She
taken.
introduced us
The dive bar was
Right.
available.
in Cave City, maybe. So she said one night to us, "You guys want a steak dinner?" And I'm going, "Yeah, I can go for a steak dinner." She goes, "No. Hold on." She goes
Speaking
behind the
of
bar. She grabs a bottle of Jameson. She grabs a bottle of Worcestershire sauce
Oh my
and
god!
some lemons. So she comes out and she goes, "Here's what we do. There's a shot of Jameson, a half a shot of Worcestershire, or maybe a quarter shot.
Yeah.
Slice of lemon with salt and pepper. Give me one of those."
Oh my god! Are you making them right now?
No, that's a pickle juice.
Oh, I was like,
We don't have the stuff here, but we will do it with you on the next
yeah.
one.
So okay, so
then you shoot the Jameson,
yeah,
you chase it with the Worcestershire, bite the lemon with salt and pepper,
yeah.
and I swear you go, I
Best
just
thing.
had a steak dinner.
Oh, shut up!
Oh yeah,
It's the best thing ever. So, and
we've
if
gone to
you're,
bars.
Oh my god!
you're a whiskey guy,
Oh, I not heard of this.
right? Have you had a pickleback?
A pickleback.
So, you know, in the bar, a back is, you know, it doesn't have alcohol. So it's just, anyway, if you were to take a shot of, say, not as nice of whiskey and chase it with some pickle juice,
That's
it is
probably why I
the-
haven't had it.
yeah, it's the best chaser you'll get. You're getting
Thank you,
hydrated,
Letitia. This
You're
is from
getting-
Letitia.
you know, sodium, electrolytes. You don't taste it. So nowadays, me and Lance don't really drink much on trips. Yeah, a
Oh.
little bit. But there
This
were
is just
nights,
like a supplement. Like
that is just pickle juice.
Hydration, but pickles are excellent hydration.
We bring them on road trips. They help on hot
In
days.
fact,
And
take a sip of
hangovers.
that. Just
I
to-
should infuse this with THC with my other stuff.
I would
Infused
drink it.
pickle juice.
It's
I would drink
awesome.
it.
Pickle juice is awesome.
All right, so now I gotta do what?
Oh, I mean,
I
take a sip of that and
and then
chase it with that.
All right,
It won't
this
be
is good stuff.
it
Then.
We're
won't be
doing
a
it
steak
live.
dinner, but just see what happens.
See what happens.
See if you dig it. Uh-huh.
You know what? You know the crazy, the crazy thing was, is that, like you said,
Yeah.
if it's not fine whiskey,
Yeah.
it takes that whole thing away
Mhm.
instantly.
Right.
There's no like that. There's no harshness. Any kind of like.
But you didn't mind it, right?
No. Actually, it's wonderful. It tastes great.
So Letitia,
If I'm not trying to talk to a woman,
are good.
Jameson and pickle juice is the perfect combo.
Jameson and pickle juice.
So we
Yeah,
use
buddy.
this for hydration.
Separate.
We do have it in our refrigerator in our
Yeah.
lounge, our riders lounge. So if you show up, you can have a shot.
Yeah, buddy.
You take these on the rides too, just for hydration purposes. Yeah, that's good stuff.
It's not bad. It's easy
Like-
to pack, you know.
If you're ever on the
Invigorating
road,
deal.
if you're ever on the road and you go into a lot of these stores now, gas stations and liquors, they have a big pickle in a bag. You just eat that up and it's hydration.
I never knew that. I saw that pickle in the bag. I was like, that's gross.
No, it's like, even like-
Still
I'm
kind of gross.
Who gets that stuff?
we do.
And I'm like, now I know.
Right?
It's wonderful. I've been missing it out all these years.
So I got to know, when you came in and you went like this, what does that mean? What do you hear?
The echo, right?
Nothing. I wanted to hear dead. That's
Yeah.
what dead sound. I don't want to hear bounce. If it bounces off the walls, then you're going to have that problem. You need to have
Gotcha.
a dead room. Like there's that one that's like the quietest room in the world, where if you stay in there any longer than a minute, you go insane. Or something.
Really?
Like it's like because it's so
Too quiet.
Yeah, it's crazy. So like when you're doing like the soundproofing and stuff. So when you walk into your room, if you truly want to do it, and that's the only place that I'm like I've been doing this for 30 years, and I have such respect for the game. Is that when people are going to do a podcast, or you're going to do a live, show like this, is that I want to know you're serious, and that's why I snap my fingers.
Yeah.
Because if I was just going to be in someone's living room, it's like you see people, let's do it in this hotel room. It's like, yeah, you can do that. You're not serious.
Were we serious?
Yeah, you're serious.
We're good.
We were like at least
like
50-50.
All right.
We good.
Yeah, even though
We good.
even at technical difficulty, but going live,
For sure.
that's
Right.
total respect, fellas.
Yeah, buddy.
That's because people don't do that. People don't do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live.
Doing it live.
In fact, we had a Bill O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly. Yeah.
So we have a guy that rides with us, Luke.
Yeah.
Half of our videos in Sturgis, he would be like, "Are we doing it now? We're doing it live. We're doing it live.
We're doing it live.
Or you write it. Oh, whatever.
That's a classic drop. Yeah. God damn it. Or the classic Casey Kasem when he got pissed off.
Yeah.
Have you heard that one? Oh, it's great because he's like doing it's Americans Out 40, and I'm gonna, and he's going into his like this is a long distance dedication, and he's like gets pissed off because he's coming out of this like a dead dog story into an upbeat pop song, and he's like, God damn it, I got to come out of this story with an upbeat pop song. He's like, get Don on the phone. Like Don's like whoever's agent, like get Don. It's like this is classic where Casey Kasem just broke character. Like Casey Kasem is top 40,
right.
And it's like, God damn it, I got to come out of this dead dog story into a pop song. Get Don on the phone.
Wow.
So it's great. You have to listen to it, find it. It's probably on YouTube.
Yeah, it probably is. What do you look?
I'm just reading comments. I think my
What do
eyesight's
people
going
say?
out.
He
Well,
said something
there is
about the
one.
audio.
I was gonna tell you later,
He said
but
the reflection of the audio. I didn't see the whole thing because you.
I don't know, something about a nuance and snapping, and
The nuance.
someone said you're the best guest we've had.
Oh,
So they're enjoying the interview.
come
They
on.
called it.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Come on.
Thank you.
Thank
Do I
you.
get look? Thank you. I'd like to thank the Academy. Appreciate that. If you're not familiar, I mean, you guys are on all over the place. At Heidi and Frank on social media, at Heidi and Frank Show on Instagram. I'm at Frank Kramer on Instagram. I got a lot of stuff going on. I started my own streaming platform.
Really?
Yeah, it's funny because my boss, he says, it's never good when your boss goes, where are you going to go? Like if like you're
I'm
in here
doing my own
negotiating.
thing.
Where are you going to go? You're going to go streaming? And I go, streaming.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Thanks for giving me the idea for the
Right.
power to do that because, so I started my own streaming platform of like curated music and podcasts that I just launched not a month ago. It's called Crack.
Crack.
K-R-A-K. But the website is mycrack.com. It's on iHeartRadio. It's on the Streams app. It's curated music. It's rock centric, but it's me listening to music and going, I like that song, and I add it to my playlist. And so and every Wednesday at 11 a.m. we go live, much like this, without the video content. We don't have a YouTube channel or anything because I'm still trying to figure that out as far as like the licensing and for stuff because we play a lot of like bits and stuff that
Right.
So
Do it on your own
mixes
platform.
that stuff.
Yep.
But go check it out. Mycrack.com, K-R-A-K. And so I was like, yeah, I will go streaming. And
Right.
it's live, it's 24 hours. And I want to get like the best of the best podcast on
Yep.
there. Or the niche podcast like
Right.
you guys to go, let's have 2LaneLIVE
Sure.
on crack.
Right.
And like after you guys do your shows, then I'll post it and put it on the scheduler and it'll just be in there because it's a 24-hour radio.
So it's
station.
always fresh stuff going
Yeah,
on.
it's playing right now. It's playing music
Really?
right now.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And so I was telling my bosses, I'm like, well, now that you told me where am I going to go if you ever fire me or if I ever get canceled, I'm going to be on crack the next day. And I will be. I'm like, and I will take the audience with me and I will take every advertiser with me. And that's where I will be.
Right.
So now do you want to talk about I love KLOS. I love what we're doing. I didn't create this because I want to leave KLOS. This is just something else. I was like, no, I love doing what I do. I love doing
Right.
talk radio. I love having fun. And that's what crack is. The reason I named it crack was because I went to
Crack is
Ireland
fun.
for St. Patrick's Day. which, you know, they celebrate in Ireland, but the only people dressed up with all the Shamrock stuff are all the Americans going to Ireland.
Right.
They're like, okay, whatever.
Okay.
But so we went to Dingle, Ireland, which is like this wonderful town on the ocean on the west coast, fishing village that has like 70 pubs and a population of like 300 people. But like, how could you even support 70 pubs? Because it's kind of like it, but it's a destination.
They're family owned.
Yeah. And so, you know, we get to the hotel and we talk to the concierge or the front desk guy. And I'm like, so where's a good pub? You know, like, where should we go? He's like, we head down to Foxy John's. They got great crack down there. I'm like, dude, crack. I'm just looking for a Guinness. Man. You know, I'm like a Guinness that's like an authentic. He's like, no, crack is good times. That's slang. That's Gaelic slang for like, it's good people, it's good times, it's good talk, it's good music, it's good, you know. And so I was like, oh, and it's spelled CRAIC, crack. Crack.
Yeah.
And so I was like, when I was gonna start the streaming channel, I was like,
crack.
Yeah, it's good crack. And I was like, well, I mean, and I did the 23andMe and I found out I'm Irish. I thought I was French, but I'm like, I guess I look Irish. I was like, yeah, I'm Irish and Scottish. And I was like, I want to name the station Crack. And so when I looked it up to reestablish the definition for myself, it spelled it out phonetically. Like, this is how you say CRAIC, KRAK. Crack. I was like, that's like a call letters for a radio station. I'm like, this is destiny. Right. This is like what it's supposed to be. So like, well, hell yeah. So let's call it Crack. And so it's mycrack.com. Go check it out. It's music, and I'm eventually going to get more and more podcasts on there. Like I said, curated podcasts are the best ones out there, because I think, you know, with the streaming services, whether it be Netflix or even Spotify or whatever you might have, you're paying for the ability to skip. Right. Which I don't know if you guys get lost in the trailers on Netflix or anything you're watching. It's like, oh, and you watch 30 seconds of a trailer for something and you skip the next thing, 30 seconds of something else. Like, am I watching anything? I'm not watching anything.
No.
So instead of like skipping and thinking you have the power to skip, why don't I just
ease in,
curate it for you and go, watch this. It's good.
Right.
Listen to this. It's good. This is a good podcast. 2LaneLIVE is a great show.
Yeah.
Listen to them. And so I'll put it on Crack. And so you can sit back and actually enjoy it. And it's almost called like, you know, meditainment, where you can actually not skip every 8 seconds because you're that's what you've been trained to do now. No, sit back, relax, breathe into a song, listen to the whole fucking thing.
Right.
It's 4 minutes. Fucking relax.
Yeah.
Hear a good song for once.
Yeah.
Listen to a good podcast, sink into it. Like being in your helmet.
Right.
And I think having that choice of, you know, intertwining the music with the podcast and with maybe other formats that may come along, it's like, just tune in, play some, like you said, just enjoy what I have made for you, what I have brought here for you, if you want to put it that way. And just,
this is what radio basically used to be.
Yeah.
I'm reinventing the wheel. It's been there. That's what jocks were able to do back in the day. It's like they were the ones who broke bands. You know, the ones back on KMET and KLOS back in the day. They were like, you need to listen to this. Fraser Smith's like, yeah, I broke Motley Crue.
Right.
It's like, well, yeah, the Sunset.
They bring it in a record and say, play this.
Yeah, and then the boss calls about, stop playing that. And that's what the DJs who you went through to go, they curated the music for you. And then they got into Pluggo and Payola, where it was like, oh, here's hookers and coke, play our song. And that's when radio was great. When hookers and coke were like, that's how you got music on the air. but they get rid of all that with the FCC rules. And so it's like, then it became this more corporate thing, and it's like manufactured. And I just want to get back to, this is, if you like what I do, or you hang out every day, it seems like we're all got the same kind of mentality, then check out this song. It's kick ass. Right. Or ride here. It's kick ass. Come out to Sturgis. Or you just hit the small town. Right. You were telling me earlier, like you went to what was that bar that you went to? The
Happy Burrow.
Everybody stopping there. They used to ride by it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Boar's Nest.
Boar's Nest. You used to ride by it all the time. Never knew it was there. You guys stopped there. You curated a bar.
Right.
And now they're like, oh, we're pulling in here because 2LaneLIVE showed us this place, and now we're stopping. But we rode by it every single day for years.
And it's like almost like a garage house
like a
two-story
yeah.
thing, and it's on a creek, and it's got a parking lot you pull in. It's on the side of a mountain, and you know you could go buy it, but you go buy it and you go in it, and their burgers are amazing.
See,
and they're burgers and beer, and it's I got a big potbelly stove in there with a fire going if you need it. You know,
right.
So it's a
So yeah, slow down, stop in, have a nice burger and a beer out by a creek on a cliff
in
right?
South
instead of
Dakota.
driving by.
Right.
In South Dakota.
Yes, sir.
And then the cook and the people that work there, and even the owner, they're like, "You guys, I want you to see what you did." They're like, "Walk in here, look at the things on here. We're so busy with people cooking, and half the people come in here say they came in here because of you guys."
That's awesome.
I mean, look at that. Boar's Nest ambassadors. That's how I found the
Look
nest.
at that.
That's right, baby. Come on.
And that's what I basically want to do with the mic crack. It's like
Right.
I have a studio in North Hollywood that has a stage attached to a live performance space with a bar and everything. So I mean, we gotta have events there if you want to have events there. But I want to have like these unsigned bands. I've been for every Friday on KLOS, I've been allowing bands who are unsigned to play their music on the station and let the audience decide if they should stay in the music business or if they should get the hell out of it. You know, like what's your day job?
Right.
Stick to that. But if they are great, hell,
Right.
keep pursuing your dreams. And these people are getting played on 95.5 KLOS. Like I said, it's a heritage rock station in Los Angeles. And no one's given that opportunity out.
Right. No,
but I've been doing this for 20 years in LA because I had that shot.
Right.
I was that guy from Indiana who shouldn't even be here today. I shouldn't even be here in this room today because I should be still barging into that rib joint. But
that's what's lost now. It's like I've never been about this, and people are about this, about money. I'm not about money. No. Like if I give someone something, I don't want your money. I give it to you. I don't keep score. If I mow your lawn, I'm not going to say you need to do something for me. Never, ever, ever. No scorekeeping. Just help people be
It'll
themselves.
Come back to you, man. It'll come back to you.
It's great.
Absolutely.
I love that kind of stuff. And no one's going to let a band come in and play in their studio and not say you owe me money.
Right. You know? I'm like, no, I want you to get exposure. I want you to be successful.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not all about money.
Yeah.
When were you picking up the charity check again? All the money we raised for charity that were given to you?
90% of the money you guys to charity. I just might give that back.
Yeah.
I mean, no one thought I was being serious.
No, totally fucking with you.
It's only 50%.
You've been on that one long motorcycle trip to Yellowstone.
Yosemite.
Is that the only long trip you've been on?
As far as long rides, yeah.
Okay.
It was like a 3-day or weekend. And I've done it a couple times with these guys.
Yeah.
And I was on the Road Glide. They were on some Eurosports Ducatis. And being able to ride through some of those areas that we were going through and being able to stay with them. And they were like, oh my God.
Wait a second. Yeah.
It was like, but yeah, it was just an amazing time and good guys and guys that I would, they can call me today and I'd be right there with them for whatever they needed.
For sure.
Is it something about the bond that you make when you're out there on the road with guys?
It happens real quick,
because you live a lot of adventure with each other,
I mean, I remember coming back to Los Angeles right before you get to like the Santa Clarita, like that when you're starting to come up the hill on the
Grapevine.
It's windy as hell.
Those guys are,
and I'm on that, and then I'm like, oh shit, like, and then trying to keep up. I'm like, I don't know, I'm getting kind of freaked out. And a tumbleweed, bigger than me and the bike combined, rolls across in front of me. I'm like, what in the hell's going on? What's going to happen? I know. I mean, as far as like any moments out there on the road, you guys have been like totally freaked out, a little bit iffy about what, like, riding. I mean, you ride in every element possible. I've seen your videos. Have you ever been like, dude, let's pull over because I'm freaking out?
No.
Nobody's freaked out. Thank God. I wasn't the guy either. Like, Jesus, because I'm kind of freaking out. But I was white knuckling that son of a bitch.
I mean, we've been told total tilt and 60-mile-an-hour winds, and you go by a big rig, and then
it just black.
And then the wind comes.
Oh my God!
And it's like our wives have been with us
on the back.
But it's almost with wind. More weight, the better, right?
Solid ladies.
Yeah.
They do it.
They were upset. They were like,
they have their own Instagram. 2-lane wives.
The 2-lane wives. Solid ladies. Oh my God.
They have fun. You know?
Yeah, we've maybe pushed through a couple more lightning storms that we should have, but I don't think there's any.
You see storm chasers passing you in their tank cars. You're like, maybe we should stop.
Yeah,
maybe let's go lay in the ditch.
Yeah,
right.
It's been done.
Have you seen anything like that, like a tornado out in the middle of like Kansas? Nothing like that?
We've seen some gnarly rain, like when you go to Sturgis, you go cross country, where you can see the storm. Like this last Sturgis, it was amazing. We're coming down the road. We're in Wyoming, and it's like blue sky, black sky, you know, and then you see the curtain.
Yeah.
And we're riding, and we literally, it was dry right here and wet right here. And there's a video. And we're like, "Are you guys ready? We're going through. Here we go!" And it's like you hit the wall, like it's a waterfall.
I gotta find that.
And now you're in this much water on the highway.
Oh my God!
And you can barely see, and you're still going 80, 90 miles an hour.
Oh my God!
You know, but we were full
hail.
face.
Any hail?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God!
Ow, 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 ow! You know, your knuckles are.
Yeah,
the ride must go on.
I'm trying to find that video.
Man, that's amazing.
Yeah, but you could actually see the water. So we've had gnarly rain, but then it might last a minute.
Yeah,
and you're out of it. You know, it's a cell that just.
When you guys turn off yourselves to each other, like I said, okay, we're done talking to each other.
Yeah,
a little bit sick of it. You mentioned put on some music, or you might just go dead silent.
Yeah.
What music do you put on? Do you have your? Is there
some Creedence? I mean, classic rock. You know, mostly like, I don't know. Yeah, Creedence Clearwater. Fucking. So you know, maybe some. I don't want to say harder stuff, more energetic stuff. AC/DC. Mix it up with some Slightly Stupid. I don't know, anything. You know, but anything with the Highwaymen, Willie Nelson. Tons of Johnny Cash. It's probably my number one road trip music. Just something you can really relate to as someone on the road, fucking traveling through time, you know?
Right. I call our bike a time machine because when you go on the small towns, you go back in time. So they're time machines. But Eagles, Bob Seger.
Oh yeah.
Eagles,
any of that good stuff. And I like, you know, you look at old Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Chris Christopherson, those guys. Their songs were so good. The reason they were so good compared to the country now, in my opinion, country now is more like country pop.
Absolutely.
The country guys that are singing, the country women, men and women that are singing, they didn't go through any hard times. Well, the olden days, Johnny Cash, they went through hard times. So their songs had like this heart and soul. The new ones are like, well, there's nothing to complain about. But
most of them, somebody who went through that time wrote it for that person to go sing. And and they're not connecting on that level of the
ride. Not at all. It's a totally different. It's more like, hey, my boots look great. I'm having fun at the honky tonk. And like,
right.
I can't relate to it. Like, I want to hear Johnny Cash say, hey, I lifted up my rifle and I shot the guy. And, you know, like, where'd that come from? You know? So just the old school Hard Knocks.
So
absolutely.
Back to your previous question, the only one time I've ever been completely tripped out by weather, he just mentioned it. Robert was actually coming back from Arizona the same time I was on a solo trip, going through 29 Palms. There was dead stop traffic, and the gnarliness, I don't even know how to explain it. The extent of the winds was so crazy that if you're going 40 miles an hour or over, it would only be what I would consider as aggressive, like you're fucking fighting it. But traffic was so tight and slow that you can only go 20. So we were getting blown. I was just getting blown over. I never fell, but I was very glad to get out of that.
Were you cutting lanes then?
Yeah.
Okay, but
so you're in between cars, right? You're trying to, but
other than that, around.
I'm still playing music, you know. It's a good time.
Yeah, we have a problem when we go on big trips of we pass everybody along the way. It's like, come on, guys, you know.
Yeah,
we don't have to, but we. Yeah, you know, it's Juan and I are more like, come on, man, take it easy.
What's the risk factor?
Do we have to go 105?
Yeah. What is it about that? What is it about the?
Well, it's like racing to a red light. Sometimes just fun.
Sometimes it's just fun.
We have Josh, Lance, and Gabe.
You know, we're filming.
I've seen it where we come out of a restaurant. I'm actually watching. It's almost like a slow motion Western movie. And I look over and I see Luke's eyes, and he looks over at Lance, and then Galen looks at, and in my head I go, oh shit, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. We're racing to Wyoming.
Yeah, you have like as far as the maps, you know, when you log in or when you give it the destination.
Oh, how quick you beat it.
Yeah. How long does it take you to get there? I'm like, that's what you think.
Yeah.
So everyone tries to beat that. That's like the suggested time.
Yeah.
Like, I can totally beat that.
I could do it.
Yeah.
I thought it was just me.
No,
like 27 minutes. Bullshit.
Bullshit.
We're talking 20.
It says we're going to be there in 2 hours. And I go, yeah, but that means 60 miles an hour. You know, we're not going to do that.
It's something about being in a big group. Like the three of us, yeah, we've got our pace. But when you got 5 or 6 or 8 dudes, there's always some kind of competition going, you know? So it's a good time.
Good times. It's always good times no matter what.
We've been in Colorado. It's 110 degrees. And we're like, I-25's backed up and it's illegal to split lanes, but we're splitting lanes.
Yeah.
And they don't like it. California, they kind of open up for you.
Oh, yeah. So they're not used to it out there. Like,
no, they're trying to block you.
Guy doing?
They're trying to block you. They're pissed at you. They're flipping you off. They're like,
but can you take your helmet off in Colorado?
Some of those states you can.
I think Indiana, there's no helmet law.
Yeah, there's a lot
when
of.
you drive through a state with no helmet law, you take it off or no?
No, we feel good in our helmets.
It's just part of your thing.
I mean, there's
without it, we feel like we've ridden in Sturgis with no helmets.
Yeah,
but after a while, then it might start raining, and you're like, you do it, and you think it's cool for a minute, then you're like, I feel so naked. It's like part of my. If I fall and you're going 80 and you hit asphalt,
right, you're
just a pile of bones.
Yeah. I mean, not that you can die in a helmet, but if you hit your head, you don't want to be.
Happens physically. I mean, not physically, but like when you put a helmet on, like with anything else, like when I put my headphones on to do the show, it's like something just happens. I
feel like you're in your uniform.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain. So when you put your helmet on to ride, it's like, all right, now we're going.
I'm ready for battle.
Yeah. Without it, it's like, no. I mean, this is actually strange for me to do this without headphones on.
And we've always done it without headphones. He has them.
Yeah.
I mean, he does, but it's like
now I give up.
I mean, as far as like, it's just part of my thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're riding naked right now.
I'm riding with no helmet.
Damn.
Best Galen.
So remember the guy who wanted to beat up Galen for lane splitting in his state?
No, that was Colorado.
That was Colorado, and I don't even think we were splitting. It was more so
we were kind of
he got in front of a guy and didn't leave a ton of space, and the guy, instead of just being like, okay, motorcyclist trying to be, he just freaked out. And what was funny, I don't think you've heard the story. So we might have been splitting lanes to get to that point, maybe. But Galen gets in front of the guy, is kind of pacing the group, leading us, right? I'm knocking shit over. And then they're yelling at each other. He's swerving at him, whatever. 30, maybe 300 yards ahead, there's this big Ram, power wagon, whatever. The window, hey, 2LaneLIVE, don't let him do you like. So we saw the whole thing, and he watches the channel. It's just kind of a funny, you see people out on the road. It's just, it's wild, man.
Oh, we'll be riding and bikes come by, and all of a sudden they're filming. And half hour later, their Instagram tags up.
They like see you guys.
So,
my God,
we've had calls or DMs while we've been on the freeway or road, and we see a group of guys go by, and it's like, hey, I just saw you guys pass me. You should try going over here, and we do.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's like you were saying, when you do that live event every year or the bash, you get to put a face to the name. So if you had that guy you're talking about that calls in every day, you somewhere or another get to know the dude. You never shaking his hand. You go to an event and you get to put faces to all these names, like people that are commenting here.
It is so funny with the events, like they come out, it's like, oh, there's Crab.
Yeah.
And then we'll introduce Crab to the audience because they know him too. Because he calls every day. They're like, oh my God, that's Crab. There's Coma Ted.
Yeah.
He was in a coma at one time. So
right.
now he woke up and now he's Coma Ted.
Coma Ted.
But yeah, I mean, it is to have the live events. And you guys can have them everywhere. I mean, my God, it's your popularity nationwide.
It's coming.
I mean, you could just plan live events everywhere.
I have a question. What is Malort?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
People are asking if you brought it for us.
I like these guys.
Yeah.
Malort is the worst tasting liquor in the world. They know it too. I mean,
Someone said this pickle juice take
It's
away
as
the
bad
taste
as
of it.
advertised.
I don't know. I will have to take one of these to see if it kills the taste of Malort, because Malort tastes like if you pissed in an old tire and then the tire sat out in the sun for a long, like 3 days.
Wow,
And
that
then you,
sounds like a
and then
really good.
you sieve off the piss tire into a big glass, and then you
mix it with trash juice.
and
Yeah.
then you drank it, and then you puked it, and then you drank it again. That's what Malort actually tastes like.
Oh my god!
And Ralph here says, I can attest. All right.
I mean, I think one of their slogans is like, when
Ralph,
when you want to unfriend somebody,
give 'em
Malort.
Malort.
Yeah, I mean, it was. We do it on the show every now and then. We had a producer from Chicago. That's where this stuff was made. Well, it's originally like a Swedish liquor or something. And during the Prohibition, there was a Swedish guy who lived in Chicago who distilled this stuff, this old recipe, and it made it past Prohibition because it tastes like such shit that the regulators were like, no one's drinking this shit for fun.
Mm-hmm.
This is awful. And I guess they passed it off as a medicine, like as a digestive. But
It's just make you yak.
It is horrible.
Yeah.
But like, you can go back to Chicago to this day. I mean, you guys do a ride to Chicago.
We got to get some Malort.
They'll have like, you can get a old style
Uh-huh.
and a Malort shot for like $7. And they drink Malort in Chicago, Cook County.
Oof.
Like it's Jaeger. Like that's like,
Yeah,
like, all right, we're getting fucked up tonight. Let's get the Malort out.
Whoa.
But everybody else who tries it is like, and it flowers. So like, what you get in your mouth, you're like, that ain't that bad. And it's like, oh, you know, have you ever puked so much that there's nothing left?
Oh yeah.
And then you get that weird
Bile.
yolk, the yolk that comes out of you. That's what it tastes like.
You know what that reminds me of?
Wow, I can't wait to try it.
In the high school.
I'll bring it in next time.
In the high school days.
I didn't bring any for you guys though. Sorry.
That's good. I'm gonna thank you for that. I think for
maybe
not
on
bringing it.
Saturday.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll bring some of it by.
That just reminds me of like the high school days when you couldn't get your hands on a bottle and you had to get a half a shot of every liquor in their parents' cabinet and pour it in a water bottle. Malort.
Oh my god! No. That is champagne compared to Malort, my friend.
Terrible. Tequila, brandy, whiskey,
the
vodka, gin
liquor
is still better than Malort.
Still
Advertising, baby.
Wow, crazy.
Look at that.
They know it though too. I mean, I know the guy who owns the distillery.
Yeah,
he reached out because we had to order it, and so he never could get in California, and he actually finally got in California, and he made me a Malort ambassador.
Wow.
So
you know Malort.
Oh yeah, I've been promoting this stuff as a punishment for years.
So it's not like John Daniels.
Oh no!
Say when the guy says no, it's Jack Daniels. Well, if you know him as well as I do,
it's John.
So Michelle says that we have to film us tasting it live.
Oh yes, absolutely.
So we'd have to do it on live.
We'll do that sometime. Yeah.
So next live, you're
Galen will be here, and then I'll bring some good whiskeys we can taste, and
we'll try Malort.
I'll bring this shit.
I wonder if Galen knows about Malort.
Maybe, and you know what? Me and you might have some whiskey that episode.
Yes, for sure. That we got to try your whiskey.
I gotta try some more.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you definitely have.
Is this Galen's?
No.
I'm like,
even my my mother. She was gonna swing by the party on Saturday. She said, "What bottle of whiskey can I get for your wall of fame?" I'm just trying to think. I'm like, what is it that I like that no one else likes? Because otherwise, it's just gonna get drinking before I get to taste it.
right.
But that is a community bottle of 4 Roses, which I'm looking forward to trying. It smells good.
That is really good.
Oh yeah.
Laura just said, well, she said at 5:40. Are you guys still alive? I'm out in front.
See, we had.
She's gonna pick you up.
But no, I have my bike here, but she is at 5:40, but it's now 6:20. So.
Well, we had our first half an hour stream, maybe 40 minutes. I'm like, oh, we'll get back on. Maybe did 20, 30, and now hour and a half for the second stream. So I think we made up for it. We gave the people a full episode.
So I think we definitely leave on air the hour and a half one.
Yes, absolutely.
So people can watch it because they can watch it for the next forever.
Oh, right.
And for anyone watching, anyone listening, don't forget to check out the video description for all of Frank's info, podcast, businesses, weed, pot, whiskey, Malort.
Malort. He's gonna start a Malort factory. Dirty socks, dirty underwear in the
It would help.
It would help.
It would help. As a garnish.
Yeah, as a garnish.
An old dirty gym sock.
Yes, sir.
Oh shoot, she had
what?
She had all her teas in the car, but
and she went home because the door was locked. The vinyl guy's still working away. Proline wraps.
That's
But
right.
hey, no, we're just having a good time.
We're just having a good time.
The vinyl guy's gone, right?
When Paul left, he was still here. And I told him I'm locking the door so no one walks in when no one's coming in or when no one's here to be at the showroom. But you know what? We're just winging it, baby.
That's right.
Come on.
Winging it.
Yes.
Look at all the comments. Look at all these people.
People are digging it.
Follow me
live.
on Frank Army, please.
Yes.
Follow Frank.
And then follow at the streaming platform that I just started, mycrack.com. It's my crack house at my crack house on Instagram. KRAK. My crack house on Instagram. Follow that.
Not crack cocaine.
No, crack meaning good times. It's the Irish Gaelic.
Irish.
Good times, good fun, good people, good music.
My crack house.
It's all there. My crack house.
Yes.
Good man. Frank Army.
So yeah, back to that. You're gonna come back pretty soon.
Right.
You're gonna bring your stuff. Galen will be here. We'll do some tasting. We'll try I heard the door.
I'm gonna check on the door. You too.
Somebody's
and if he's done,
door.
Say, see you later. Yeah. But yeah, that's funny. That is funny.
And thanks for the pickle juice, man. That is quite the.
There's another one.
You probably
take
do
it home.
between the tastings. I mean, as far as like what we should do is put one of these in there each box that people can do this between the tastings to cleanse the palate.
I think we can put that together.
Yeah, we definitely can hook that up.
This is who was the girl?
Letitia Klein.
Letitia Klein.
I showed you her pictures. That woman's amazing because she has built, floored, roofed, painted, anything where she's the bar. She's like construction chick, model.
Really?
Show me her picture.
Rider.
She's absolutely. I mean, she's a beautiful girl with like an entrepreneur.
And her boyfriend, or I guess you call it boyfriend. They've been together for a while.
Yeah,
It's,
Mike Wolf.
Mike Wolf, the American picker.
Okay.
So they're both really into history, restoring old, soulful things, buildings, cars, properties.
And
Yeah, they got some really cool stuff going on.
That's awesome. He seems like a great guy just watching that show.
He is a good guy, but he does have an Instagram called On 2 Lanes. Mike.
Come on, Mike.
He might have had that before us.
I think he did.
You got your thing, Mike.
I think he did, but hey.
2LaneLIVE to this place here.
Come on.
But his On 2 Wheels is like old barns, signs, like kind of like his show vibe.
Oh, right.
Yeah, But yeah, he's a good guy.
Well, we will finish it off with JST Moto. This has been an amazing episode. Frank, you're a great guest. Can we hear your morning show on any platforms?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like there's the 95.5KLOS.com.
Where does that air though? Or can you stream it?
You can stream it. You can stream it on iHeart if you want to look up 95.5 KLOS, Los Angeles Classic Rock Station. I'm in the morning, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific time. Also, there's the Heidi and Frank app. So you can go to the App Store, get the Heidi and Frank app. It's free. And you can listen to the show live there. Also, HeidiandFrank.com is the website. You can go and check out old episodes. We do a VIP for like webcasts and podcasts. So, but go check it out. We are ridiculous. We like I said, we're not trying to change the world. We're just trying to have fun and get your day going right. And it's really, I mean, the cast we have it's just a great show.
So you're going to be here Saturday.
I'm going to be here Saturday.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
so he's going to be at our opening event. So that'll be fun. Great guy. We love Frank. He's going to come back and do another one with Galen sitting here. And we're going to do some fun stuff because we want to taste some stuff.
Oh yeah. We're going to do whiskey tasting with blindbarrels.com. You should get with the holidays coming up. The December box is going to come out. It's like every 3 months, get a box, and it's always great. It's always great because like it give you a reason to go and hang out with your dad.
Yeah.
Like if he gets his box, you get your box.
Yeah,
it's like every 3 months. And some of the greatest stories always happen at the bottom of a bottle of whiskey. So
Oh, it must be you.
is that me? I'm such a professional. I got people. No, it's not me.
Wasn't me.
Maybe
So yeah, go to blindbarrels.com, sign up, and actually, I guess I can give somebody one of your somebody who came through. I'll give him a subscription.
Awesome.
I gotta say this real quick. Sherry Hale, hi. Give Frank a big hug.
Oh,
Love you, Frank. Carmen and Frank and Carmen.
oh yeah, Sherry Hale. That's your sister-in-law. Yeah, Sherry. I mean, in a small world that it is, that I knew Jim.
Yeah.
Your brother-in-law
Yeah.
who passed away. And
Yeah.
Sherry, she's such an amazing woman. And it's your wife's sister, right?
Yes.
And so,
in fact, I will send her.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
In the small world that it is. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Excellent.
Oh, she's great.
So for
I'd
anyone,
love to come back. Thank you guys so much for having me. This has been fantastic.
Absolutely.
So much fun.
anytime.
And I love what you've done. The shop looks fantastic.
Appreciate that.
Definitely come out on Saturday. I'm going to be here, and with everything you're doing for the charity out there in Compton, and all the proceeds going to them.
We might want to come to your party.
Actually,
I think so.
Live party November 10th. Yeah, be sure to listen to 95.5 KLOS in the mornings. And yeah, thank you, fellas.
Yeah, buddy.
I appreciate it.
See you down the road.
For everyone
Thank you.
listening live, we hope to see you out here Saturday, November 4th, 2023 at our grand opening party. And if you can't make it, we will
See you down the road.
see you down the road.
Yeah.